status of Somerset from an isolated paradise into a tourist attraction. Now monsters, sea creatures. I've never seen anything like them. Well, I say let the cat fight them. Better him than me. Suddenly the ground opened, spewing water and strange creatures. They attacked us. Luckily, one of the newcomers, a Khajiit, leaped in and drove them back. Called himself Razumdar. He could probably use some help if you're so inclined.
My friend, Raz is happy to see you, but surprised you didn't help. Ominous. No more than usual, my friend. But there's work for the Queen's Eye, and this one could use an extra blade if you're willing. Queen Irene issued a decree to open the borders of Somerset and allow outsiders to have access to the island. That's what Raz said. But rumors reached the Queen. So this one made the journey and was immediately attacked by strange creatures. Raz doesn't think the two are related, but if you could ask some questions, check on the newcomers, that would help. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report. Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid this stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers. As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. Old Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranuel, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log. Old Newell complained about it. No. Raz doesn't want to prejudice your investigation. You will find out when you talk to her. The artists like to gather shells along the eastern coast. She uses them to make paints and dyes. True. Not enough syllables. Ranuel's a Redguard, whose family has lived in Shimmerin for generations. He's a well-respected trader, with a few warehouses along the docks. Talk to him, before the Divine Prosecution decides to arrest him. The Divine Prosecution serves as lawkeepers and protectors of social standards. Very persnickety. When rules are broken, they record it in their observation logs. If your name winds up on their list, things get complicated. Something to do with monks and newcomer registration. Raz is looking into that. Last I heard, Soxolza was seen leaving the city and heading west. Probably trying to reach the water. Lizards like water, yes? Not Raz. Ugh. Raz hates the wet stuff. Nothing at all. Unless you think they came to Somerset because of the Queen's decree. No, that would be ridiculous. Let's not lose focus. Just see what Old Newell, Soxolza, and Ranuel have to say about newcomers and the mood in Shimmerin. We need to confirm these rumors or else put an end to them. Everyone should be pleased with the Queen's decree. Opening the border shows progress, yes? However, if any of her loyal subjects reject progress, well, Raz needs to know that too. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Raz knows very little about city ordinances or how to tell the difference between mead and ale, so let's avoid those topics, yes? Otherwise, this one knows all about the Queen's decree and the initial reaction of the nobles and King Lady. Queen Irene, her most excellent leader of the Aldmeri Dominion, has issued a decree opening the once forbidden land of Somerset to traders, visitors, and immigrants of all races. Controversial, yes, but part of her plan for the Dominion's future. For some, High Elves talk of perfection, but they are a complicated people. Various individuals in Somerset take issue with their queen, with change of any sort, actually. The King Lady, for example. Some nobles. Makes my job complicated. King Lady Avenice has made her views on the Queen's decree quite clear. She calls it unreasonable, dangerous. A few of the city's nobles have sided with the King Lady, as has the new Oldark at the monastery. My queen permits discussion, to a point. She has spoken against it. Now Raz needs to know how far she will go to defy the will of the queen. Does she grumble but welcome the newcomers, or is she using every option at her disposal to block their arrival? Raz will find out, with your help.
Find your own patch of beach. Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? Exactly. An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Somerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every High Elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work? I believe in caution as much as the next High Elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers. And she was adept at making dyes. They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, so of course I complained to the monks. Now I have to gather my own shells. They told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time for such bureaucracy? And for a wood elf? I've said too much. I have work to do, and all this aggravation has diverted my path to Alaxon. Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it.
Seeking a sip of fine, headed to the fetch. Indeed. Until they find a suitable third investigator, the jurisreeves and revelators are left to sit on their hands. Nonsense. Why not go lend them a hand? They'll likely just tell you to go jump into the sea, but it can't hurt to ask.
A coin for this.
A newcomer in the warehouse district. Unusual. But how can I help you today, my friend? The Divine? Who told you that? If a Justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing... No, no. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task. But I admit it. I made my thoughts known. I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing! Oh, my family has been here for generations and generations. Before the Queen's decree, outsiders might have been rare, but we were not unheard of. Our business has grown and gets better every day. That's why I sent for my cousin. We need the help. Somerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
Why have you closed the monastery?
Such anger! Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to? Sequestered? Just a different word for imprisoned, yes. Ranul's cousin just arrived, but O'Newell's assistant has lived on Somerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Zoxolza have to say? Raz intended no offense. Some of this one's best friends are lizards. But this one wonders why the Alldark is gathering up newcomers, and does the King Lady condone his actions? Raz suggests the next course is to investigate the monastery. Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own. Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, Just sleep quietly inside.
Mara, an adventurer? Oh, praise you, Mara, for hearing my prayers. Please, newcomer, I'm desperate for help. My son, Arathel, has gone missing. No one will tell me what happened to him. Yes, I'm sorry. The last time I saw him, he was agitated, scared. I asked him what was wrong, but he left without a word. The guards arrived later. They said he turned himself in, that he was involved in a plot to kill our sapiarch, Icantar. No, he vanished. They say he escaped. Can you believe it? Why would he turn himself in only to escape a few hours later? They're hiding something, I know it. Please, Caraval, help me find my boy. He would never hurt anyone. I swear it. You have a perfect heart, newcomer. None of my neighbors would lift a finger to help me. The guards placed Arathel in a cell beneath the Kin Lady's manor. I'm told the Justiciar of Remand is there now. A mer named Telerion. He must know something. No, Icantar treats us like family. Arathel is Icantar's apprentice, you see? He was so proud when the attestation came through. He's been a bit withdrawn, though. I found some Aprax literature in his room. But it's just a phase, right? Right. You're new to the Isle. I apologize. Apraxic Mer are people who, for whatever reason, were expelled from the greater Elven community. Most Aprax labor for years to re-enter society. Others choose to remain in exile. I feel very sorry for them. Some do, yes. Treatises on class warfare, religious hypocrisy, that sort of thing. A lot of young Mer take a liking to it. I think it's healthy to push back a bit. Not too much, of course, but a bit. Rumor has it that a famous Aprax called the Mother of Rats lives in the city, but I've never met her. And even if I did, we're forbidden from speaking with her. Well, that sounds awful, doesn't it? It's just the way things are here, I'm afraid.
You there! I have a... Damn it, why won't this work?
Did you see a golden knight?
I have no idea what that was.
Raz owes you for that game of cards and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any... you say I won some gold?
No, not now, please. Your spiritual well-being can wait until after my nap. You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldork brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was a hint, by the way. Aldork Tilkala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by King Lady Avanice, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but there's something strange about that bunch. The Aldork and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purposes and ordered the rest of us to avoid the ancient vaults beneath the monastery. Now, please, let me get back to my nap. The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation. The Aldork has closed us down until further notice. That means if any of the monks spot you, they'll raise the alarm. Me? I never saw you. Now, if you don't mind, my nap awaits.
Unusual knick-knack for an Aldork's office, wouldn't you agree? I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind. The sequestered newcomers. I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp, and it shouldn't be locked to the public either. Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios. Strange creatures notwithstanding, we need to find out what's happening with the missing newcomers. The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you, so I could ask you the same question. Let's just agree that we both have our methods. Curious, but I feel that there's more going on in Shimmerine than the usual politics and community relations. That's the question, my cautious friend. We have a newly appointed Aldork and a disgruntled kin lady. both opposed to the Queen's decree. What's their connection to the missing newcomers? I was about to explore the Undercroft. Care to join me? A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldork acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers.
You belong on the other side of that